Welcome to White Sands National Monument. I'm at the visitor center right now, and I'm going to go in and check in and see if there's anything new going on. This is a really cool park, and one I highly recommend you come out and check out. These white sands in this whole desert area is so unique and so special. It's always a lot of fun. It's a little windy today, so we've got storm clouds to the one side and some nice clouds over here. Not sure what's going to win out, but it's going to be fun as we travel back to check out these white sands. Well, I just passed the entrance station. It's approximately 7.5 or 8 miles to get to the end of this road. It ends here, it loops at the end. This is a unique park in that it's right next to the White Sands missile base, so there'll be times where the park will be closed actually because they're firing off missiles and stuff, and they don't want any accidents to happen to where a missile lands on your head. So this first section here is just kind of this flat brush. You'll see, like off to the left there's some dunes, but they're pretty vegetated, a lot of vegetation on them. When we get towards the back end, that's where the pure white sand dunes will be seen. These ones here are pretty cool too, though, because there can be flowers and stuff growing in the springtime. This is the springtime, so maybe we'll see some, although the surrounding desert right here looks really dry, so I'm not sure what our chances are, but hopefully we'll see some spring wildflowers. That would certainly be nice. It's windy out here, so hopefully you can hear me through the noise of the wind. This is the Playa Trail. Ooh, and there's a fighter jet flying up overhead. You can hear it flying. On the other side of the road is the Dune Life Nature Trail. If you look close, you can see the fighter jet in the upper left-hand corner there flying by. As I mentioned, there's very stormy on one side of the road and kind of clear on the other. So the Dune Life, well, both nature area trails are really nice, very educational to kind of educate you, and if you're bringing kids, they can come and see and learn about the desert here and how plants and animals can grow and live out here. I'm taking the Playa Trail right now. The wind has definitely picked up, so I hope you can hear me. One thing with the wind out here is it definitely gets amplified in the desert because there's like nothing to stop it. So when it starts blowing, it really blows. Learn about this a little bit. Wow, it talks about a desert oasis here in the playa, and it says water can be as close as 1 to 2 feet below the surface. How interesting. Right now at this point you wouldn't think there's any water here. It looks dry. Even though this is a short hike, I made sure I brought my water bottle along with me just in case I get thirsty. And we're on the playa. Can you hear it crunching underneath my feet as I walk? A lot of footprints. Here's a close-up of what it looks like. Really very interesting. And that storm over there is very interesting. I'm going to have to stop and take some photos with that storm. That looks so neat. On the other side of the road now is the Dune Life Nature Trail. We won't take it all, but I'll let you see the beginning of it. Lots of important signs here about being prepared and where we're at. Shows there where we're at. Nice little picture of the trail and stuff. It's pretty nice. Mentions it's a mile loop. Takes about an hour. Follow the trail markers. We'll walk up just to the top here. You can see some people walking down it right now. And you can see those cool storm clouds. The forecast today was for clouds. They neglected to mention that the clouds would be storm clouds. They just said clouds. I don't mind it because these sure look beautiful. As a photographer, there's something special and dramatic about storm clouds. It's a rather short little walk till we get to the dunes. We're right here on the edge. Something else I should mention is that this park has some abbreviated hours. Besides sometimes not being open because of missile launches, it also is a park that is only open from sunrise to sunset, or close to that. Like right now, it's opening at 7 o'clock in the morning, but sunrise is at 7 in the morning. So, like, you couldn't go photograph the sunrise at the dunes at the back. Now you can put in a month ahead of time to request that someone will come. You have to pay a fee. I forget what the fee is right now, but they will come and let you in like an hour early, if I remember right. I've done it a few times in the past. So they will let you in an hour early. I've done it a few times in the past. I don't remember if it was like $50, $35. It was something like that. It was worth it to get in here just prior to sunrise. Basically, sunrise happened by the time you drive to the back, for me, at least the time I came there. So there is that option. And now we're walking up the dunes. I took off my low-cut hikers and put on my mid-cut hikers to try to stop from getting sand into my shoes. Love the white sand in comparison to the dark storm clouds. And you'll see as you get back here, you'll see some blue markers along the way to direct you. In fact, if you look back there, you'll see a couple people hiking back there. Oh, there's a couple more back there. So it looks like this trail loops from this side around. This is part of it. You can see the markings right here. Dune Life Nature Trail. Even though my preference is for the sand dunes that have absolutely no vegetation in, I will have to admit these are very beautiful. When you see the vegetation like this growing out of the sand. I believe I need to stop and take a couple photos. I will be back. After the Dune Life Nature Trail, we will be coming to the Interdune Boardwalk. It's just up a little bit. I find it really neat how the road just winds between these dunes, and look at how the dune's coming down. It's like it wants to take over the roadway. I would have to imagine they have a street sweeper or a dune sweeper come through here and clean the roads off a little bit, or maybe just the wind's enough to blow it off the road. The road is only paved part of the way. It will end shortly, and then we'll be driving on the packed gypsum sand. There's a few people out here, though I've never seen it like super ultra crowded compared to a lot of the national parks or monuments. But there is still quite a few people who enjoy coming out here because this is such a cool, interesting, beautiful place. I find this part really beautiful, even with all the vegetation, which I've mentioned I don't really care for as much, but it's so beautiful. Oh, see a lot of people out here. This is the Interdune Boardwalk right here. Let's pull off into the parking lot, which is comprised of gypsum sand. Quite a few people here. Here's a view of the parking area at the Interdune Trail area. There's the trail going out there. It says it's a boardwalk, but it looks more like a steel walk to me. It's made out of steel grate, which would probably last a lot longer than boards out here anyways. You can see the people walking out there. I came up on top of this dune overlooking it to kind of give you guys a better idea of just what it looks like and where you're going. It's not incredibly long. It looks like it ends right out there. You should be able to see the end of it. So the Interdune Boardwalk Trail, that's this. Well, let's keep going and see what else is in store. There we have some people walking around, playing around the dunes. Can be easy to slip. Looks like he got sand in his shoes going up that dune. That's why I switched my shoes. The next spot that we'll be coming to is the Sunset Stroll area. So before we get to it, we will reach the end of the pavement. And then it's all hard packed gypsum sand, which will feel as hard as the asphalt. There's a sign that the pavement ends. And the road just disappears like it got swallowed up by the sand. But there is no more road. And I'm not going fast enough for somebody, even though I'm going the speed limit. All right, on the right is the area for the sunset stroll, the meeting area. It's boarded off right now because it's not sunset. This is so cool. The sand's just right next to us. We're driving on the sand. Although there's some loose sand on here, it's packed so hard. We'll look at it when I get out, but it's solid as a rock, even though it's sand. Right here, I don't believe is an official trail or anything. It's just a pull-out area where you can get out and walk in the sand. There's also areas where you can slide down the sand. They rent sleds here that you can rent. Like they're a snow sled, but you use them in sand instead. I have not done that myself, though I've seen a lot of people doing it. Mainly kids. Kids especially enjoy that very much. Just passed a sign that said no driving off the road. And you would think it would go without saying, but there will be people that will be trying to drive off the road. There's no off-road driving here. You stay on the road, the paved road, and this little gypsum sand loop road. But please do not drive off of it. This is not a four-wheel drive area. no driving off-road. Another reminder, please do not drive off the road. Right here is the backcountry camping trail. There is, I believe, 10 camping sites back a mile off the road here that you can backpack into. That's this area here. I have done that before because you can't stay overnight here. So by getting one of the backcountry campsites, you can spend the night here. And I've woken up with my tent half covered in sand after the wind blew throughout the night. Currently, the backcountry campsite area is closed though. I checked into that because I wanted to do it this trip, but that will not be possible. There's somebody up on that dune. Looks like they're off to have some fun. As we leave the Interdune Boardwalk area, the next little stop, well, it won't be a stop, but it's the Sunset Stroll area. It's not sunset, and we won't be strolling. But the road will soon be ending here. It'll be the end of the pavement very soon. Yeah, there's a sign, pavement ends. The pavement will be ending. Well, the asphalt pavement will be ending, but the gypsum salt or gypsum sand pavement will begin. It's like the road here is getting swallowed up in sand. Look at that it's like it just got swallowed up. And this is super hard. I mean, there's some loose sand that's blown across it, but this is as hard as the asphalt was. Very hard. And this is the Sunset Stroll area. It's boarded off right now because it's not sunset. But if you want to take a little sunset stroll with the park rangers, that's the place to do it. It is kind of fun and unique and different to be driving on this, that's for sure. I mean, it doesn't feel anything different, but it's just kind of interesting how like the sand dunes just kind of merge in with the road. It's like it's all one, except that we're driving on this part of it. And you're not to drive on the other part. There is no off-road driving. Please stay on this road. There'll be multiple signs, but just in case, please do not drive off of the road. A little public service announcement is please wear your sunglasses. The sand, even when the sun's not out, is really bright. It's like a mirror almost. It reflects the light so much it'll feel like it's going to blind you. If you're not a sunglass wearer, find a pair because you'll want to wear them out here. It's kind of dark because of these clouds, so I pulled mine off for a minute just to kind of like, let it be a little brighter, but within about 30 seconds my eyes were hurting, so I had to put them back on. It's not that dark out, it's not that bright out, but this sand really reflects what light there is. It's a little pull-out area. Has no name that I know of. It's a great area to pull off and let the kids run around, or you can go out and explore. But we will keep going. This road is suitable for all types of vehicles, RVs, trucks, trailers, motorcycles. It's quite solid, as I said. And you begin to see from this point on is where you'll start to see there's still a lot of vegetation, but if you see off in the distance, the dunes are starting to lack vegetation. There'll be a lot of yucca in them, well, scattered yucca, but soon that'll be about the only plants that we'll see. And those make for some great photos, so I'm looking forward to that. We will soon be stopping because when we get to that dune area, it's so photogenic, and we've got all these storm clouds behind us. I definitely want to be taking some photos here, and I would think you'd want to also. Now there's signs scattered through here that say no parking, so even though this is really wide, and I mean technically there'd be room to park, they don't want you to park here. So we will continue on to get to a spot where we can park. I think the next spot that comes up is the backcountry camping area. It's a huge parking area there. We can park there and then walk off a little bit. The backcountry camp area is not currently open. It's closed. They said they wanted to let the area get restored a little bit. It's a fun area. It's got, I believe, 10 campsites back there, 10 or 12, I think 10. It's a mile back from the road, so you'd have to backpack your gear into there. And it's the only legitimate way to stay in the park after dark. Otherwise, the park closes, I think, like a half hour after sunset. So I've stayed there. I've done that. I've backpacked through the sand off to the campsite. They're numbered, whichever. I don't remember which one I had, number 7 or 8, something like that. And it's a fun experience, all very unique. I remember waking up in the morning and half my tent was covered in sand because it'd gotten kind of windy during the night and my tent got covered. But if you're into backpacking, it's a fun experience, that's for sure. But with it being so dry, you got to make sure you bring lots of water, a lot more than you might normally bring on a hike. There's no water out there. There's no water faucets. There's no way to get water except the water you got on your back. There you can see the parking lot for the backcountry camping. It's right there. Quite a few cars there. You can see some people up on the dunes. Quite a few vans. There's a camper, some trucks, different cars, lots of people. You can take the trail back there even if you're not camping. It's a fun trail that hikes back through there, or goes back through there. There's some people up on the dunes. Looks like they're taking photos of some sort. Camera had a mind of its own and it zoomed in to 5x right there. I was going to zoom in anyways, but I was not going to zoom in quite that fast. Well, I'm going to go park on the other side of the parking lot. I saw a couple yuccas that I think I want to try to capture with the storm in the background. As the camera drifts off to unframe them to just clouds. It's gotten very windy. The wind has picked up. I had to put a jacket on. It's that windy right now. Here we are on the edge. Found a couple really cool yucca plants. Although this is being shown horizontally, I took a few photos vertically because I liked just isolating the plants. And I'll go up a little bit, but you'll see like there's like a nice solid layer of really dark storm clouds up there. look at how neat that looks. Now I'm going to show you this. Look at how this, if you can hear me, it's almost like this yucca tree is going to blow away, like half of the tree is uncovered, but I think that's just the dead leaves. But it really creates kind of a interesting look there. Same with this one here. There's enough of this on this side that it's actually holding the sand. Look, that's helping retain the sand right there. But I like this because you can really see the ripples in the sand. I don't want to go any forward, although my footprints won't last very long in this wind, but look at these ripples here, how neat that looks. I won't go forward anymore because I want to put my feet prints in there, my footprints in there. It's pretty neat seeing the ripples. Well, although with this wind, footprints in the sand, that's one nice thing. The wind's kind of a pain because it's cold and it blows you around and stuff. But one of the nice things is it blows away footprints. So footprints do not last, to work on my grammar, footprints do not last very long when it's windy. That would make a nice photo right there. Leaving the camping area, but encountering the rain. The storm has finally decided to have some rain on us. So we'll see how much we can get out and explore here for you, but we'll do our best. We're now coming to the loop part of the trail, or the loop part of the road. We'll go to the right, even though that's counterclockwise. And we're going to come to some picnic areas first. We've got several large picnic areas right here to sit and have some food and take a break. And we'll go into the picnic area here so you can see it. See how long I can video before rain splashes on the lens. There, you see some down there. There's a small area and then there's a big area. I can't tell if there's any raindrops on the camera lens or not. Hopefully there's not. Here we come to some picnic shelters. They're really kind of neat. See how they're designed? They're designed to help block from the wind and the sun. On a day like today, though, they do a great job of blocking against the rain, too. I can hear another jet flying by in the sky. So this is the picnic area, continues on back there, in the distance. Oh yeah, there's the jets up there, disappearing into the clouds. It's a fun area to photograph aircraft if you enjoyed that. And look at all those. I won't drive all the way back there, but there's lots and lots of picnic areas. I've been here all different types of years, and I believe they have more picnic areas than there will be people out here, but that's okay. It's better to have too much than not enough. All right, I'm going to circle around. Ooh, the rain's coming right in my face. Okay, well, let's get back on the road here in a second. As we leave the picnic area, you can see here some kids that are got those sleds and sliding down the sand. Everybody's having a fun time. And there he goes. Oh, he didn't slide down very well. Maybe the sand's wet, so they're not sliding as well. So this road loops around. It's approximately 2 miles to go around it. We're on the right side of the loop. As I said, we're going to the right. For me, as far as photographs go, I prefer photographing off of the left side of the loop. I think the dunes are bigger and look a little better. But it's all surrounded in dunes, so you can pick whatever looks best for you. That's for sure. Up here we have an amphitheater area coming up, and then there's an area called Area 19, not to be confused with Area 51. We're not that far from Roswell, New Mexico, so UFOs and aliens could be a thing out here, but I don't think so. But the Area 19 does kind of give you some Area 51 vibes as far as the name goes. Still sprinkling just a little bit, but the rain's kind of let up. Another little area to pull off while both here and on the left side. Tour bus behind me, so I'll pull off to the side unless they're going to pull off here too. There they go. Little tour bus. Here the ground's still a little bit wet, perhaps. Kind of neat off to that side. I need to stop and take some more photos. I took some earlier. They're a little bit too far for this camera, but those peaks were just barely showing through, so I had some photos of the sand, low contrast, and then the peak showing through. This still looks pretty nice too. We drive up a little bit further. I have to stop and take some photos. I like the way that looks. It is kind of interesting how the road almost totally blends into the sides of the sand dunes, huh? Have to keep your eyes open. There's the amphitheater to the right. It looks like it's closed off. Currently, it is closed off. Somebody's behind me. I'll pull off. Somebody's got a nice little van there. Yeah, maybe when we get to this end, I'll stop and take some photos, and we can do a little videoing on the sand dunes. I really like the way those mountains are kind of showing through right now. The bathroom it almost looks like it's a drive-by bathroom, like you could drive on both sides of it, though. I mean, maybe you can, I don't know. Drive-by bathrooms. Something new here in White Sands. Pretty soon you'll see them being popped up everywhere. Another little parking area here. It's not named, but you can see people up there parked and pulled over and walking up to the dunes. I will find some that hopefully don't have as many footprints. Still a little spattering of rain, pretty light. Hopefully it's avoiding the camera lens. Again, I can't really tell as I'm looking on this, but if there's any raindrops, I apologize in advance. Now we're at the end here. Starting to turn. I don't know, did I miss the turnoff for Area 51 or what? I guess I missed it. Somewhere back there was Area 51. I mean Area 51. Area 19. Yeah, the aliens have abducted it. That's what happened. They came and they grabbed it and put it over by Area 51. Oh, I can feel the rain a little bit more. Hopefully the camera is surviving here. I'm going to pull off in this little area over here. There's some people that were in that parking spot on the other side because it's a pretty narrow loop here. You can see them up on the top of the hill. This is Alkali Flat Trail. There's an area back in here. I think it's up ahead. I don't recall exactly. It's the movie lot trail because they do movies and stuff out here. So they've got a special area. It's usually cordoned off, but there's an area back in there where when they're doing movies, all the movie trucks and trailers will all go back there as they're filming. You can't drive back there, but you can walk back in that area. I've hiked back up through there. Oh, there's somebody taking a photo of his motorcycle with the sand dunes in the background. A lot of people are parked here. Let me stop this for a second. I think I was going to stop here, but it's still drizzling a little bit. I'll make sure the lens is clear, and then we'll just finish on the end of this loop road so you can see exactly what this loop road looks like. Well, there was a couple drops of rain on it. Hopefully they weren't too obnoxious. I can still feel the rain a little bit, so there may be more. Next up is the west filming area. I actually don't see on the map an east filming area, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe it's just not named. But the west filming area is up ahead. Oh yeah, they must be filming back in there because I've passed it to where I can't turn the camera fast enough. But this right in there is the west filming area. I saw a bus back in there. So that's, you see the red cones, that's the road to head back in there. Continuing on, we'll be getting back to the camping area here. The backcountry camp areas right up here. There's a horse area up here, and then another picnic area. So yeah, you can horse trailer unloading right over there to the right. There's a RV over there. I would show you, but my windshield is in the way. Let me curve a little bit. There's an RV sitting there. So that'd be interesting. I wonder how the horses like walking in the sand and stuff, because it's pretty soft when you're walking in it. It takes quite a bit of energy as you're going. It's up ahead, you see the little picnic area over there. It's called the Yucca picnic area on this side. On the other one, I didn't give the names. I think Rosewood was one. I forget, there was another name for the third one over there that we first passed by. When we're done with this loop road, I'll let the rain die down a little bit, and then we'll go out and we'll get to explore the sand dunes a little bit and show you some of the photographic opportunities out here with these sand dunes. That should be extremely fun. It'll be the highlight of the video for me. There's another huge parking area to the right that you can go up into the dunes for. And we are just about back. There's an RV. As I said, any vehicle can drive back here. It's not a big deal. There's where we can connect onto the loop road. We could circle around again if we want, right there. That connects back up into it. And off to this way, if I'm not making you guys too dizzy, we are back at the backcountry camping area. Alrighty. Well, we'll take a little break here while I wait for the rain to let up. You can see it reflecting off the sand there a little bit. And then we'll go do some hiking out in the dunes and hopefully get a really awesome sunset over here. I couldn't wait any longer. There's still a little bit of sprinkles coming down, but the sun is poked out to the west. And that's going to create some really awesome photographic opportunities. And you can hear a lot of people on the other side of the road having a lot of fun. So you can find a lot of good opportunities here next to the road, but typically the best ones you're going to want to hike back probably a good mile into the dunes. There's a car driving behind me. Let me give you some perspective for where I'm at right now. I'm on this side of the road, and the end of the loop road is just down there. The road's over there, and over here you see a ton of people. Somebody driving by. So you can see there's the road right there. I'm not sure what they're doing up there, but it's actually kind of cool. I've got to stop and take some photos of that. That's kind of neat. All these ladies in dresses up on the dunes. That's kind of cool. So let me take a few photos here. The sun's poked out a little bit more. Look at the nice shadows, especially in the ripples and the shadow of the yuccas that's created. And actually kind of like a really wide shot showing the sun in it like that is pretty cool. But I did do some photos where I was focusing more on the shadows. Somebody stopped on the road right behind me to see what I was doing. I'm taking photos. Very cool. All right, I'm going to walk back through that way. I like to walk through these flatter areas like this when I'm walking because, one, it doesn't put footprints on the dunes, and it's a little easier to walk too. And then I can move on up to a dune as I get a little bit closer, but that's going to be my path right through here. I really try to pay attention to my footprints when I'm walking through here. I don't want to walk into my shot or somebody else's potential photo as much as I can help it. I just turned off the camera. I'd walked, 10, 15 feet, but then I saw this. Look at this. All this rough sand around here. Kind of looks like it's footprints, but it's not. And then there's this beautiful desert flower. Not sure the name of this. I'll have to look it up. Or if you know it, you can please leave it in the comments. Okay, well now I will get going, barring any more beautiful spots I need to stop at, and we are going to head straight back that way. Well, I'm back to the end of that open area to where the dunes started, as you saw in the one video. Now comes the challenge as a photographer. See all these footprints. Now, if there's like a single footprint, that could be like really cool because, you know, that always tells a story. But when there's so many footprints, it does not tell much of a story. Although there's a story of somebody in their bare feet. You can see how cool this is looking though, with the light getting a little lower. See back there the shadows? That is so neat. See how neat that is? Let me walk up here. So the goal, the footprints may not bother you, and maybe in fact you might really like all the footprints. So whichever works for you, that's awesome. But see, back here, let me see, it's a little hard to see the screen. The sun is in my eyes. It's good for the shadows, but see how kind of cool that looks back there? The shadows and the light. So we'll want to walk back further and then try to find some sand dunes that have some really nice ripples. Sometimes the ripples are very subdued. It depends on their angle and the way the wind's blowing. But the goal is to try to find one of these sand dunes with some nice ripples, the sun coming on edge, highlighting them, and so maybe some beautiful clouds in the background. That would be awesome. So right now, there's a single set of footprints going off here. Let's follow them. As I mentioned about trying to keep footprints to the minimum, I'll usually try to follow tracks that are already out there so that I'm not just walking in some wide open area. I try to be conscientious about that. That could just be me, but that's how I operate. I don't want to have footprints that might get in my photograph later. It's always a bad feeling when you wanted to clean sand and then it was your footprints that were messing it up. We're probably about a quarter mile back from the road right now. Even these grasses look really cool over here, see? Right now it's all about the angles. Got the sun to the right. Got that there. Could even just go low like this. See, I like kind of like this individual stalk up here of grasses. Let's see. Something like that. There's still a few more. I'd like to find it like totally separated. So sometimes you have to just walk around and search till you can find that exact one that you envision in your mind as you think about the photographs you want to take. Well, let me take a few photos and we'll hike on back a little further. And here we go. I didn't have to walk too much further to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Look at how cool this looks. Right now for some of this you want to work the light and the shadow. See the shadow coming down there, shadows on the edge there. Even the shadow that's right here, I did some close-ups where I'm going like half shadow and half not. It's probably not going to look good in the video camera because you can't push the blacks. But look at how neat this looks. And you can go in close and go like this. Most of these I took vertical. Because as a vertical, I could flatten out the very top of it so it's not curving at the edges. And I had a little whisper of clouds on top. Let's see, let's maybe simulate it by zooming in a little bit. So this is what I'm looking for. And I've already found it. And we, like I say, we're maybe a quarter mile from the road at this point. I'm going to keep going a little bit further and see what other treasures that we can find as we explore White Sands National Monument. The sun, there it is helping us. You can see I'm just at the edge of this flat area. There's some people to the right of me. You can see if there were some kids, they're taking some photos, they're having some fun. There's somebody hiking back over in that direction. Ooh. Look at this. I like that. Out here with the sand dunes, you know, photography, a lot of photography is about light and dark and working the shadows and working the light. And I like this right here. Well, I'm going to stop, take a couple photos here, and then we'll move on. This is really turning out very, very nice. Now that's the area where we came from, or where I came from. Back. Oh, that's not going to work. I zoomed in. That looked bad. Sorry about that. There's a guy up there with his lawn chair just sitting on top of a dune. So anyway, straight in the middle is where we came from. One of the things that you definitely have to watch for here is to not get lost. People get lost out here all the time. You wouldn't think so, but they do. So either mark where you parked your car at, or be really good with directions and knowing where the sun is and where you should be, although the sun moves, so you got to watch out for that. Right up here, as I was walking up, somebody was up here photographing a model, and they've moved off, but there's lots of footprints. And, you know, I don't want to stop people from taking their photos, which is great, but unfortunately for me, or for us, he had her walk right along this ridge line just as I was coming up. And see the footprints? The key to really good photos here is having unbroken ridge lines. And she walked right on it. I hope he got some really good photos of her. I grabbed a couple of her while she was there, since she was there modeling for everybody, I guess, right? Anyways, you can see there's some really nice shapes here. Oh yeah, there they are. That's them in the right-hand side. You can see them. So there's some people more to the right here that are back there. So, I was thinking about going kind of the direction where they're at, but a little bit further past, to try to find some more unbroken ridge lines. That was my goal. But this looks really nice from a distance. The problem is if you print it or look at it, you know, going close, then you're going to see the footprints, and it kind of distracts from all the nice lines that you're getting. But you can see the potential here, and the potential for doing a lot of walking, depending on how picky you are, like I am, about getting the sand without all the footprints in them. So I think I'll follow these footprints down into that bottom area like I'd mentioned before. Then I'll walk along there, and actually, since they're over there, I'll walk back into that area over there. And you have to keep in mind for sunset, don't forget, you know, sun's getting late, or light's getting late, and they close it. They have a ranger that comes by, and you don't want to be stuck out here. You will get in trouble if you're not out by sunset. So, got to keep in mind how far away you are also. Ooh, you know what? Back over here, if I get lower, if I get down here at the bottom, I can shoot up a little bit. Maybe I can lose some of those footprints. All right, I'm going to try that first. I'll let you know how it turned out. I am now about a mile back from the road. Don't have a lot of time left. Sunset's in an hour, or less than an hour now. But look at this incredible spot that I found. This is so amazing. I was down on my knees a little bit trying to block a few of the clouds, and then to get a little bit closer angle to the ripples of the sand. You can see the sun off to this direction. But I really like this. I'm still looking for like a ridge line. I'm not sure if I'll find that or not, but I'm really happy with this. I think this is really cool. It looked really neat vertical too. That is just so neat. Those ripples, they've got a life of their own. There's like no two that are the same. Sunset's coming. I might do a little more photography here, see if I can find that ridge line with no footprints. That's kind of eluding me at the minute, but I'm about a mile back, maybe 3/4 of a mile back away from the road, and footprints have been disappearing. As you can tell, look at how beautiful this looks. This hillside, nice shadows. Oh, this is so incredible. Just love how this is running up. It's been quite a day. We've had all sorts of weather, stormy, rainy. Now it's clear. There is still some clouds, but there's a lot of blue skies too. Blue skies are great for white sands because they do such a great job of contrasting the white of the gypsum sand with the blue of the sky. Welcome back. I came back early this morning. I was the first one at the gate to come in. Totally blue skies, which sometimes we don't like, but they contrast so awesomely with the white of the sand. Yesterday I was looking for ridge lines, and so I was hiking back into the dunes like normally do, like most people normally do. But as I was driving in this morning, I spotted some dunes right next to the road that are just a few hundred feet south of the backcountry camping parking lot. And look at it, they have the ridge lines without footprints that I was looking for. Look at how pristine and beautiful that looks. You can go in tight. With my camera, I take photos. I'd probably push the blacks a little bit more to accentuate the curve here. You can see what this looks like when I'm not zoomed all the way in. Typically with these dunes, they'll have this flat area on the one side that's hard packed, and sometimes some plants growing like this. But I already took some photos. So I came here, I did a lot of vertical ones because this really lends itself to vertical. But look at that. Look at the shapes here. This is so incredible. Sometimes the best photos are the easiest photos. Not always, and probably typically not normally, but in this case, we don't want to look too far away. And you can hear the car driving right behind me. As I said, I'm right on the side of the road here. There's a berm here, though. You might occasionally see or hear the snow plow, or, well, probably what's actually a sand plow. It was out this morning, just like a snow plow would be up in the northern states when it snows. The sand blows here, so it comes through and scrapes the road. And what's actually interesting is this morning I came in, maybe because the light was super low, it actually really looked like snow. I don't know if you're getting that feeling from here, just looking through here, but it really had just that feeling like I was up in Minnesota somewhere and had snow drifts all over. So I took some photos here and I continued to walk because there were some more berms just on the other side of this. I still haven't been able to find the isolated yucca plant that I really like. I found some, but there's a lot of you know, dead vegetation and stuff around it. So I haven't quite gotten the clean look that I wanted here. In fact, across the road, see that one there? That's one I was working for, but it's got a bunch of stuff on the bottom, so I didn't really care for that. Ah, somebody waved and said hi as they went by. Very polite, very nice. It's always nice to have friendly fellow explorers. As you see, I just stepped over the berm. Just see now that's just falling off like that. Ooh, I didn't take a photo here, but if I've done the video, I might have to come here. I like how that just ends up there. Now, look at here. Also, I might have to come back and take a photo of this. I like how that looks. If you get in, I typically try to avoid the hard packed area because I like, ooh, look at that. And sometimes you can go lower and drop the mountains in the background out of the image. Whoa. There is signs here like no parking. They don't want you to park along the side of the road here, which does help kind of keep the traffic down here because, like I say, nobody's just parking here and running off into the dunes. Although this, like I say, is only a couple hundred feet from the parking lot. Now I worked this one a lot this morning already. I really liked the lines here, and it's probably a little more exaggerated, the light and the dark here this morning because I was here right as they opened the gate, which was actually about 10-15 minutes after sunrise. That's the bad thing here is they don't time the gate with the sunrise. It's some set times that are close to the sunrise, and then they'll change the times to try to get it close to it, but they don't change it constantly. It's like every 3 months or so they change it. Look at how neat this looks. And again, see, you can see that spot there, but all I have to do is lower myself down and that's disappeared. Sun gets higher, these ripples are going to disappear as well. That's what's nice about these early morning times. Look at that. So I've taken some photos like here where I've gone like this. Sometimes you might actually, this is horizontal, but if you can imagine, see how the line slopes. Sometimes you'll actually want to tilt the camera to keep the horizon flat. All depends on you and what you want. It's neat to see it kind of rising too. So you can shoot it both ways. But I worked all the way along here like this. I just really enjoyed this. And going wide angle is kind of cool too, because you just get all these ripples spreading through it. So I'm staying down here, I'm staying off the dunes. I'm using the zoom of the camera to zoom in instead of my feet, so I'm not leaving footprints all over. Again, bending down, going in tight. This won't look as good as what I got on my camera, but you can see the light and dark shades. And I worked my way down to there. Well, this is just a short little video. I just thought I'd show you what it looked like in the morning and some other opportunities here to get some really amazing photos taken. I want to thank you so much for coming along on the ride here to White Sands, New Mexico. Well, I sure hope you stick around and watch some more videos. Please subscribe and share. Comment and like. Tell your friends. Please help me to grow my channel. It keeps growing little by little. And I thank all of you for watching. Till next time.